Hi, I'm Aaron, and over the next few minutes, I'm going to tear down all the walls to reveal some extremely outrageous, illogical, and even downright brutal tactics to trigger so much love in a man that he will find you to be the most tempting and irresistible woman he's ever come across. And as outrageous as it sounds right now, this will all happen when you activate the secret pleasure centers in his brain. Activating these pleasure centers will trigger off bombs of absolute delight within any man's mind, body, and soul, and will push any man to experience absolute peak levels of love and attraction for you. This process is so damn powerful that it will cement you so deeply in his mind that he will find himself floating in a never-ending stream of joy at the very thought of you. This will give you the power to make any man feel such an intensity of love for you that it will appear to be beyond the boundaries of sanity. But before I go any further, I must give you an extreme warning, so please listen to this very, very carefully. As you watch this short presentation, you will experience a variety of feelings, some really good and some a little bad. You will hear things that will absolutely thrill you to bits, and you will also hear things which will shock your senses a little. Honestly, what I've revealed in this presentation is really weird, strange, and extremely controversial. Honestly, this could really piss off a lot of men. Therefore, I don't know how long I can keep this online. Therefore, you must watch this right now, and at this very moment, because if you leave this page and come back later, this video might not be online anymore. Okay, now that I have your complete attention, I want you to imagine something for a second. Imagine being able to create an intoxicating feeling within any man's mind, which will force him to feel mad urges to do loving things for you over and over again. An urge so intense that any man will almost beg you to take advantage of him and will feel absolutely amazing in the process. In fact, let me tell you something even more amazing. The same man who once found you to be plain, boring, and even unattractive or ugly will now find you to be an exceptionally beautiful, super smart, and irresistibly sexy woman who he only ever thought could exist in his dreams. The same man who used to find his mind congested with intense doubts and fears at the very idea of commitment will now feel such monstrous proportions of desire for you that he will not only want to marry you, but will literally wish to trap you and keep you close to him for as long as possible. He will find himself needing to have a lot more of you than ever before. I can bet that your eyes will widen with a shocking sense of astonishment when the same man who once treated you like dirt and broke up with you for someone else will suddenly find himself filled with a painful level of guilt and frustration for ever letting you go. You must be thinking that this sounds a little bizarre. Yes, I shamelessly admit, this does sound a little over the top right now. But if you stay till the very end of this presentation and follow the advice I'll share, you will find yourself enjoying an almost unfair power over men and will be able to make any man feel practically wired to you. And this process is so darn easy that you will cringe on the inside for not having discovered this earlier. Now, you must be thinking, all right, I've heard enough. How can you be so confident that what you're talking about actually works? And if it does, what is it? Not only am I going to give you solid proof that this stuff works ridiculously well, but I'll show you exactly how to do it within this very presentation. First, I need to officially introduce myself. My name is Aaron Fox, and I'm a relationship expert. But don't you dare confuse me for your usual relationship expert, because I'm the relationship expert who excels at turning almost impossible dating and relationship situations around. I'll tell you more about that in a moment. Before that, let me tell you a really crazy story. A story which made my mind literally spin with shock and bewilderment. It's a story about my good friend James. I'll give you a bit of background on him. James is one of my really close friends, and we go way back. James is the kind of guy who could work any social group, and this is especially true with the ladies. Other than being really good looking, he always somehow intuitively knew exactly what to say to a woman, which would trigger instant attraction. In fact, he was so good that even when he had a girlfriend or was in a committed relationship, he always had a huge waiting list of women eager to date him. But he had a very strong belief system when it came to love. He always used to say that love doesn't exist, and it's all only about infatuation and attraction. The sad part was that he didn't just say things like that, he actually believed it too, which is why most of his relationships were rather short. In fact, he believed there was no woman out there who could make him fall for her. I know it sounds cocky and even a bit ridiculous when you think about it, but that was his reality. However, it was all going to come crashing down. I still remember it very vividly. It was a cold Sunday evening, and I was preparing for bed, when suddenly my phone rang. I saw James's name flashing across the screen. Why's James calling at this time, I wondered. With a little bit of confusion, I picked up and said, "Hello, are you at home?" said James in a very restless tone. Now, the tension started mounting. I instantly sensed something was wrong. In a confused tone, I replied, "Yes." He quickly replied, "Good, I'll be there in 10 minutes. Before I could even utter a single word, he hung up. What was that all about? I questioned myself. Feeling a crazy mixture of hope and fear, I eagerly awaited James's arrival when suddenly I heard a knock on the door. The moment I opened the door, I saw James like I had never seen him before. He had tears rolling down his cheeks, and before I could even ask him what's wrong, he walked past me, turned around and said, "I love her, man." That statement alone set alarm bells ringing in my head. "Is this a joke, James?" I asked in a very demanding tone. "No, man, I really love her," he replied convincingly. Over the next few hours, he told me everything. He explained how he recently met this wonderful woman named Jane, who literally blew him away. He explained how this woman's presence alone makes goosebumps explode up and down his skin. I honestly didn't know whether to be worried or mad, or actually feel happy for him. I thought to myself, wait a minute, is this the same James I knew? Is this even the same guy? What happened to the old, "I'll never have to chase women like this, I will never fall in love with a woman" attitude? The man in front of me had shifted 180 degrees, and he was just no longer the same person I'd known for years. To make things worse, he told me that he had chased Jane around like crazy, and after a lot of hard work, she said maybe to him. But that was nothing, because then he said the most shocking thing. I mean, the conversation became extremely ridiculous. He started to detail how he moved cities just to be with this woman and quit his 6-figure income job to work at a place that paid 1/8 this amount, just so he could be with Jane. At this point, I was about to officially declare that he's gone crazy. But with a lot of emotion, he again murmured, "I love her, man. Please help me." Since he knew that I was a relationship expert, he came to seek my advice on what to do next. He really wanted this woman to like him, and not just like him. He actually wanted her as a girlfriend and probably a future wife. Eager to know who this special woman was, I asked James if he would introduce me to her. He instantly agreed and said he's going out with Jane and a bunch of her friends next week and invited me to join. My whole body was filled with eagerness to meet this woman. I assumed that this woman must be a real catch. After all, why would a guy like James chase after a woman with this much passion unless she is that one of a kind? I was supposed to meet James at a restaurant, and just as I entered, I saw James sitting on a table with a bunch of women. He saw me walk in and waved. As I was walking towards his table, he secretly pointed his finger towards Jane to let me know who she was among the rest. The moment I saw her, my eyes went wide as I thought, geez, this girl is okay. I mean, she's pretty, but nothing like the women James dated in the past. Jane was around 5 feet 3 inches tall at best, and was a little on the chubby side. Well, James is 6 feet 2 inches tall, and I recalled how he always used to tell me that he will never date any woman who is more than 5 inches shorter than him. Just as I was thinking all this, Jane looked up at me, and her hand was reaching over the table towards me. "I'm Jane. Nice to meet you," she said. Next thing I know, 2 hours had passed in what felt like only 10 minutes. I found myself enthralled to the max, engaging with this woman in one deeply stimulating conversation after another. Needless to say, it only took a few seconds for this woman to impress me, and any idea of what she looked like quickly went out the window. This strange woman had managed to effortlessly capture a few hours of my time, without me even feeling as though any time had really passed at all. And she did it in such a way that I felt completely captivated, so much so that I secretly wished to have her as my girlfriend. But everything aside, an even bigger question was swirling around my head. How is she doing it? I asked myself. I didn't say anything about it then, but I exchanged numbers with her. I ended up texting her later that night, quickly getting to the point, because the urge inside me was killing me. I made it clear that I wasn't trying to offend her, but I asked her to explain exactly how she managed to capture James's heart so convincingly, and I even jokingly asked if she had some secret trick up her sleeve. To my surprise, she didn't deny the fact that she did have a trick up her sleeve, but wanted to know why I was being this curious. I called her on the phone and explained to her the exact reason for my curiosity. I explained to her that since I'm a relationship expert, her insight might help me help other women achieve similar results in their relationships as well. After literally twisting her arm and urging her, she finally gave in and told me all the secrets. What she said next shocked and surprised me more than I could have ever imagined. She told me about the concept of secret pleasure centers in a man's mind and how to activate them. I won't go into all the details, and we'll get straight to the point. After listening to her and doing extreme research on my own, I found out that this technique is backed by proper scientific facts. Here's how it works. Every human being has secret pleasure centers in the brain, which when activated will lead to feelings of extreme euphoria, joy, love, and even addictions. And this is especially true in the case of men. In fact, a strong feeling of compulsion takes over, and a man forgets all logic and compulsively feels a strong need to obtain the very object or person which triggered the pleasure centers in his brain. This is the reason why a man would go completely out of his way to chase a certain woman, even when she isn't the prettiest or the smartest one out there. This is the same reason why a man would be overly generous, loving, and forgiving towards a specific woman, even when she doesn't deserve it. And this is the same reason why James spent tons of money, time, and effort on Jane, even when he logically would never do such a thing for any other woman. After understanding the true power of this method, I squeaked inside like a little mouse who had just stumbled upon a mountain of cheese. I knew that I had stumbled upon a very weird but extremely accurate and easy method to make any man a burning level of desire for you. Over the next few days, I shared this very formula with some of my clients. There was one woman who had been begging to be my client for at least a year, but her situation was impossibly hopeless. She had extreme self-esteem issues, and as a result of it, men used to avoid her like a bad smell. I left her with my method, and within the first 3 days, she had a whole list of guys interested in her. And one of them was a guy who would have never gone for a woman like her before. She had literally turned into a guy magnet. This method gave her almost magical powers over men. Guys were now doing things for her that she had thought were impossible before. I also shared this method with another woman who was brutally dumped by her man. Not just dumped, but this man had actually avoided her for 3 months. She tried the same method on her ex, and I was shocked when her ex spoke to her for the first time in 3 months and even agreed to meet her for dinner. I also shared this same method with a close friend of mine whose husband told her that he didn't find her attractive anymore and was struggling to tolerate her. After she used this method on him, his attitude changed overnight, and now he was buying her flowers, taking her out dancing. He even told her that he was feeling this new sense of attraction for her that was utterly indescribable. So now you must be wondering, all right, Aaron, I've heard enough. Can you please share this method with me? Well, I would be more than happy to. I call this method the drama method. And this gives you the power to activate the pleasure center in any man's mind and make him feel crazy levels of love and attraction for you. This method is really simple, and there are just 3 very simple things you need to do to activate the pleasure center in any man's mind. Thing 1. You need to raise a man's emotional temperature. In other words, you have to tune up the intensity of emotions a man experiences in your presence. The higher the intensity of the emotions, the more his body will force him to claim you. When you do this, you will appear to him as this worthy woman he could spend the rest of his life with, because no other woman would be able to make him experience such intense emotional highs. Thing 2. You have to make him feel a variety of emotions. A man might fall for you if you can make him feel good, but if you want him to feel absolutely addicted and obsessed with extreme love for you, then just making him feel good isn't enough. You have to make him feel a variety of feelings. In fact, you need to make him feel a mixture of emotions. I'll show you how to do this very soon, but before that, let me tell you the third thing. Thing 3. You have to make him feel emotionally safe in your presence. You have to create an atmosphere of emotional security where a man will only experience feelings of relief around you. In fact, when you do this, a man will feel so good in your company that he will want to make it absolutely permanent and will feel that committing to you will be the best decision of his life. Now, you must be wondering, all right, Aaron, I understand that I need to raise his emotional temperature, make him feel a variety of emotions, and make him feel emotionally safe. But how do I actually do it? Well, in order to show you how to do it, I'll have to tell you another dramatic story. After helping hundreds of women, I came into a devastating realization. I realized that most women were gambling with their love life, and as sad as it sounds, they're playing emotional poker with their men. I would see women trying all kinds of things on their men in desperate hopes that it would earn them the devotion and love that they were hungry for. It was really painful to see these women try one thing after another and fail over and over again. This reality made my body itch, and this itch got so intense that it became utterly unbearable for me. That was the point when I realized
that I absolutely needed to share the drama method with as many women as possible. So, with a single-minded obsession, I started writing. I typed and typed and typed, and then I typed even more. Things got so weird that I could be taking a shower, and if a brilliant idea popped up in my head, I would race out of the shower to jot down these ideas as fast as possible so they wouldn't slip away from my mind. It felt like a nuclear explosion of ideas were going on within me, and what was even more surprising was that the content was so good that I was even shocking myself. Here's a small glimpse. I'll show you how to implant addictive seeds of desire in his mind by using something called logical attraction. It's a revolutionary process which will make a man experience one thing and one thing only around you, which is extreme love. He will attempt to hover around you like a spider about to pounce. He will desire you so intensely that you'll almost taste the delicious sweetness of it. How to use something called cocktail drama to turn any man into a crazy raving lunatic who will feel an over-intensified level of attraction for you, which will compel him to obey your every command. He will find himself lost in attraction overload mode after you try this on him. How to make a guy convince himself that he is madly and deeply in love with you. Introducing the sweet turmoil method. This method will show you how to affectionately tease a guy and make him experience a unique kind of turmoil which will make him feel a pulse-pounding level of yearning for you. The emotional variety trick. I'll show you how to make any man experience absolute peak levels of passion for you by making him experience a little bit of excitement and a little bit of aggravation at the same time. Men will find themselves completely amazed by the thrill you give them after you use this trick. Men only like to chase pretty women, right? Wrong. I'll show you something called the art of dramatic sex appeal. This unbelievably easy method will make every man see you as this super hot and sexy woman. Even if you currently believe that you're not that good looking, most men will find themselves heavily drawn to you once you use this. But while you let that sink in, I'll let you in on a little secret. There's so much more. This is only a tiny fraction of the ideas that exploded through my mind. Naturally, with ideas like this racing through my head, I started to realize that this was a really big deal. That's when I suddenly found my mind asking me to do something. Something inside me whispered, turn this into an online course, that way you can share it with as many women as possible. At that point, I didn't really feel like I had a choice, because the urge within me was so strong that I was compelled to obey.
And after putting in several months of hard work, I managed to put all of these ideas into an extremely laser-specific and mind-bogglingly effective online information course I call the Drama Method Training Program.
Here's the rest of what you're going to learn. The art of dramatic flirting. Introducing a completely new way to flirt you've never seen or heard before. Use this on a man today and he will feel a sudden need to capture you, possess you, and even fight for you with a burning passion. What do men really want in a woman? I'll tell you the most shocking, extremely raw, and really inappropriate secret that no man would ever dare to share with a woman. You'll feel your pulses suddenly leaping with excitement once you hear this secret. Did you sleep with him a little too soon? But you are now suffering from the terrible realization that maybe he's done with you? I'll show you a clever technique which will make any man want you with twice the intensity after he has slept with you. In fact, sleeping with him will seem like a huge advantage in your favor after you discover this. Have you ever experienced that heart-wrenching trauma of wondering why a guy suddenly lost interest in you? Have you ever found yourself haunted by the gut-wrenching question of what went wrong? I'll show you my attraction sledgehammer method, which will floor his soul with a wave of passionate desire for you. He won't be able to stay away from you because it won't be within his control. Discover the art of maximum emotional impact. Do you know that men need emotional variety with their partner? I'll show you how to fulfill this need in a weirdly unique way, which will make any man's mouth literally water with emotional greed over you. Men who once seemed to be completely out of your league will now experience a sudden and almost unexpected jolt of infatuation towards you. Tired of feeling that odd twinge of disappointment when a man never calls back, even when he said he would? Discover my attraction anticipation method and watch any man feel so much intrigue for you that he will feel almost flooded with an unexplainable urge to call you. His body will completely squirm with impatience, and he will feel an intense level of greed to hear your voice on the phone. This is so easy that you will feel as if you aren't even putting any effort into it. Do you know about the male mood swings? Have you ever seen your man finding himself clouded with uneasiness whenever you try to communicate something important? Do you feel a weird sense of tension and distance rising up between you and him as you talk? If this is the case, then he's going through what I call the male mood swings. This concept might sound a little absurd and crazy when you hear it for the first time, but not knowing this can completely cripple your love life. If there's one thing you absolutely must know about men, this is it. One really sick secret about the male mentality, which might send your pulses spinning in confusion with a little bit of shock. Your heart will race with a crazy mixture of hope and fear the moment you hear this. But it's going to be one of the most liberating things you'll ever hear. This will both fascinate and creep you out at the same time. Do you keep on attracting total lunatics and oddly weird men into your life? The type of men who make your blood boil with anger and make your heart sink with depression? If yes, then you're suffering from what I call bad smell factor. No, I'm not talking about body odor. I'm talking about the mental feeling or vibe a man gets when he's around you. Once you discover this, you will know how to get super high quality men to want to be with you as much as you want to be with them. Are you going out with a man who's keeping his options open? Discover my mental interlock method and watch him go from keeping his options open to seeing you as his only and best option. This method will reveal a clever way to make him feel so good around you that he will feel privileged and glad to be in your company. He will naturally feel the need to become exclusive to you and only you. Do you know that you can make a man literally beg you to express your needs just so he could fulfill them? My emotional escalation method will show you exactly how to feed a man with tiny motivation triggers, which will make him extremely excited by the mere act of fulfilling your needs. This is the easiest and fastest secret to making him give you what you want from him without any resistance or second guessing. Do you know what every guy desperately needs from a woman in order to love her? You will discover my permission principle, which will vacuum out all of his fears, doubts, and worries surrounding his ability to unconditionally love you. This will make his heart completely melt with a feeling of pure love for you. Well, I think you've heard enough, because I could go on, and this space just isn't enough to fit in everything that's covered in my course. I can almost feel the eagerness building within you, and I can sense that you truly understand how useful this is going to be in your life. So now, I want to ask you a rather stressful question. How much money have you wasted on getting the love, admiration, and attention from that one special man so far? Maybe you spent a ton of money on gimmicky and temporary things like makeup, fancy dresses, diet pills, and you name it. And if you're someone who really works hard at it, then you've spent hundreds on gym members or beauty salons just so you could find that perfect look to impress him. If you add up all the costs of these fruitless efforts, you will realize that on an average, you spend in the range of $7,000 to $10,000 per year. And if you're like most women, you know that doing these things alone isn't enough and usually leaves you with an empty bank account. This is the reason why the price of my program is going to shock you to your very core. After all the blood, sweat, and tears I poured into this program, I showed it to many of my clients who were more than happy to pay me $197 just because the level of mind-blowing content it contained. So after much thought, I decided to price my system at $197 and announced it to my newsletter subscribers. But that's when something really weird happened. I received a very emotional email from one of the women titled, "Can you please help me afford this?" She said she had debts and bills to pay and was living paycheck to paycheck. She was literally begging me to reduce the price because she was in so much trouble with her man that she absolutely needed this. She said she would be thankful to me for life if I could lower the price just for her. At first I thought, that's all right, it's just one woman. But then I felt like a hypocrite. Honestly, it was cruelly unfair of me to just offer a special discount to just one woman. Something inside of me cringed when I saw her message, as I found myself asking, what about hundreds or thousands of other women who need help? This woman's words had struck a powerful chord in me, and as a result, I've decided to do something odd and weird, which I'll probably regret later on. But right now, I have decided to make my program extremely affordable for everyone. So here's what I've decided. I've decided that you aren't going to pay $197 for my system. You aren't even going to pay $147. Heck, you don't even have to pay $97. By ordering today only through this presentation, you get the entire system at a ridiculously low one-time only payment of $47, thereby giving you the power of using drama to completely turn around your love life. If you do some calculations and compare it with the $7,000 to $10,000 you'd otherwise spend on silly things, this is an absolute steal. Heck, if you calculate further and focus on the massive benefits you'll gain over a year by investing only $47 in my course right now, you will realize that you are only spending 13 cents per day. That's cheaper than buying a pizza. But hey, now that you've heard the sweet news, let me give you the bitter news. So I need to give you a small warning, so here it is. I'm only doing this as a small market test. I don't know how long I can keep the price of this system at $47. In fact, I'm planning on raising it soon. Therefore, if you leave this page, I can't promise that you'll be able to get it for $47 again. So grab it while this really tiny window of opportunity is still open. But hold on here. I want to give you some more sweet news. I actually want to make this into the easiest decision for you. And not just easy, but I want to make it so tempting that you will feel like a fool if you let it go. So here's where it gets juicy. If you choose to invest in my program right now, I'll also add the audio version of this program worth $97 absolutely free. This will make the whole learning process so damn easy for you that you could still learn all of this at rocket speeds even with the most hectic or busiest of schedules. You could plug in the audio into your car, put it on your iPod, phone, tablet, or any other media device and enjoy hands-free, effort-free, and painless learning from the comfort of wherever you need to be, whenever you need. But wait, let me sweeten the deal even more here. I also want to give you my Mind Scanner report. And to be honest with you, this is the first time I'm ever revealing such a powerful thing to the public. Why is that, you ask? Well, because when I first wrote this report, I found myself a little terrified and had mixed feelings. I must tell you that my reasons were fair as well, because this report reveals a very clever method to scan any man's mind and get him to come up with his own reasons on why you must give him a chance to date you, spend time with you, or even commit to you. In other words, if a man has always told you that you aren't his type, all you really have to do is use this process on him, and then watch as he tells you you are his ultimate love and ideal woman, all while he explains how being with you would be an absolute privilege for him. In short, he will feel an internal push to convince you to like him, love him, or commit to him. In fact, from this point on, you can tell him exactly what you need, expect, and want from him, and watch him fulfill your wishes with a crazy sense of urgency. He'll just find himself emotionally wrapped around your instructions. It will almost be as if you have a psychological pull on him. You won't have to do any more guesswork and will always get control of your love life with pinpoint accuracy every single time. Honestly, if I was to launch this report, I would value it at $47. But for this one time only, I would like to give it to you absolutely free of cost when you click the Add to Cart button below and invest in my program. But wait, I'm still not done. I also want to give you my shameless truth report. In this report, I've unraveled the insider secrets on how men truly think and what they usually think about. I'll reveal some of the most cruel, brutal, and downright disgusting secrets about men, which you probably haven't heard before. Some things might come as a terrible shock to you, but I promise it's going to be one of the most eye-opening things you've ever come across. In fact, you might thank me later for sharing these secrets with you. Knowing these secrets alone will give you an extra edge with men, in comparison to every woman out there. This report is valued at $27, and I recently decided to take it off the market due to its controversial nature. Therefore, this is your only chance to get it. Sounds good? But wait, I'm still not done. There is still one more thing. I also want to give you my extreme case scenario turnaround report. I need to tell you that I am more proud of this specific report. Why, you ask? Well, because this is one area which I excel massively in, while most other people crumble. If you said or did something overwhelmingly embarrassing or made a major mistake around a man, then you absolutely need to have this report. I haven't really seen any other manual in the market which teaches the techniques I share in this manual. Therefore, now you will finally have a go-to resource for dealing with absolutely extreme situations with a man. If you add up the value of all these goodies, it comes to almost $300. But by ordering today only through this presentation, you get to have it all for only $47. All right, I've given you the gold pot at the end of the rainbow here, but it's time for you to do something about it. So it's action time. Let me tell you exactly how to get my program and start using it 5 minutes from now. Below this video, you'll see a huge Add to Cart button. Once you click on it, you'll be taken to an order review page where you can see a summary of what you're going to get. After that page, you'll be taken to a checkout page where you can enter your payment details using a credit card, debit card, or PayPal. Once you do this, you will be instantly taken to a download page where you'll be given immediate access to my complete program and the bonuses. In literally 5 minutes from now, you can begin using this program to create magical effects on any man, regardless of your situation, age, looks, or financial condition. I know that sounds like a pretty good deal, but I know that you still have a bit of doubt, and to be completely honest with you, I want you to invest in this program stress-free and with a feeling that you made the right choice. So I want you to just give my program a try and not think of this as an investment anymore. To help you do that, I would like to give you my golden handshake promise. I want you to grab my program and read just the first few pages or listen to the first few audios. Within the very first few hours, you will experience a mental orgasm. And I know that sounds a little inappropriate, but this is really the only good way to best describe what will happen. After a while, you will find yourself trying my techniques on a guy and feeling an almost evil level of pleasure when you witness how easy and effortless it is to get any reaction you want from your man. If over the next 60 days it doesn't work for you, although that's highly unlikely, or you don't like my program for any reason, I want you to send me an email for a full, no questions asked refund. That's my golden handshake promise to you. So now you must be wondering, why am I doing this? Well, for one, I believe that it's pretty near to impossible for my program not to work for you. And secondly, I don't want you to keep price as an excuse for you not to try or benefit from my program. So hit the add to cart button right now and let me help you completely transform your love life. Oh, and don't think my manual is just another one of those long, boring, fat textbooks which suck the daylights out of you. This isn't a textbook like the one you had during your school days. Heck, you won't find any boring lectures or useless facts in my program. Rather, it's full of exciting and thrilling bits which will explode your mind with an amazing series of ideas. In fact, you won't even have to put any real conscious effort in going through my program because it's all going to feel absolutely effortless. The moment you download it or go through the first few pages or audios, you will automatically find yourself getting hooked and almost addicted to the new discoveries you'll make. Day by day, you will unconsciously start doing things that will give you a new sense of power over your relationships. You will naturally find yourself doing or saying the very thing which draws men towards you in ways you thought were absolutely impossible in the past. My program has been laid out and designed in a way that will make your mind automatically suck in all the revolutionary information with very little effort on your part. In addition, let me tell you the biggest benefit of my program by far, a benefit which will make your face split into a wide grin. The techniques you will learn from my program won't just work for you today or tomorrow, but rather they will continue to work for you for the rest of your life. I know it sounds a little outrageous, but you're being handed over an almost unfair superpower over men. This power will enable you to make any man stand up and smile with admiration at the very sight of you. This power will make any man aroused with a mountain of wonder and curiosity towards you, not just today, but will continue as strongly 10, 20, or even 50 years in the future. So you won't ever have to deal with any issues when it comes to men and relationships beyond this point. Alright, now you've seen and heard a lot in this presentation. If you've gotten this far, then you only have two things you can do. In this presentation, I've opened up your mind to a world of new possibilities and have proven to you how easy it really is to get all the love, admiration, and adoration you need from your man. I've also shown you the incredible bonus reports and have cut the price just so you could take advantage of this opportunity right now. Now the decision is in your hands. So you're basically left with just two choices. The first choice is that you listen to the inner skeptic within you and leave this page, only to forget about everything you just heard or saw. You go back to your life living the way you've always lived and continue to play emotional poker with men in hopes that things might turn in your favor someday. And both of you and I know how slim your chances are when you gamble in life. Or you could take the second choice and click on the Add to Cart button below, grab my program, and watch how your love life completely transforms right before your eyes. Look, I really wish I could make this decision for you, but unfortunately, I can't. So once again, you could either take the first choice and find yourself sitting in the corner of your room suffering from the lonely silence and while feeling your heart squeeze with pain when that one special man who loved you suddenly decides to dump you like last week's trash. Or you could take the intelligent second choice and feel your body roaring with an intense amount of joy when the same man who got distant comes back to you, almost on his knees, and wants you to forgive him for his ridiculous behavior. But if you still have doubts, there's always the option to still take the first choice and regret massively when end up suffering an ugly soreness in the pit of your stomach as you end up sitting and obsessively staring at the screen of your phone, desperately hoping for your man to return your calls or texts. Or you can make the smart choice, which is the second choice, and notice a huge splash of humor crossing your face as you witness your phone ringing off the hook where you find the same man acting like a crazy lunatic who just can't have enough of you. But if you're still not sure, and you feel the need to punish yourself, you could take the first choice. With that option, you'll end up in a sea of piercing tears and anger as frustration burns through you because the man you're with isn't ready to commit. and there isn't a damn thing you could do to change his mind. Or you could take the easy, effective, and almost effortless second choice and watch this same man suddenly turn into this super commitment eager freak who wants to put a ring on your finger as fast as possible. But hey, if you still can't make up your mind, then you could live in your own personal relationship hell with option number 1, as you drown yourself in the river of sorrow and misery thinking of all the screw-ups you've made with that one special man. You could also find yourself completely overtaken by this heavy sense of guilt because you know he will never change his mind about you, and he now wants to date other women. Or you could always take the shortcut to his heart, avoiding all of the hard work, pain, and misery with option number 2, which by far is the most logical and smartest choice. The thing is with this option, you won't have to worry about screwing things up or intense regrets that you can never resolve, because everything will become reversible and repairable. In simple terms, now you can easily reverse those screw-ups and make your man extremely attracted to you once again, regardless of your situation. Once again, the choice is always yours, and I hope that you make the pain-free, smart choice. Download my program and just casually go through some of the chapters. As you read through the pages, you will start to experience one breakthrough after another. During the first few days, you will notice very drastic changes taking place in your life. You will find that all the chronic anxiety and worry which used to haunt you day and night is being vacuumed out of your body at supersonic speeds and is replaced with a soft, warm, and almost creamy sense of relaxation and joy. After a few more days, something even more drastic will happen. You will find yourself stepping into a whole new world where you have an uncensored, explicit, and a little unfair insight on the male psychology. In fact, you will almost feel as if you're hearing your man's thoughts, even when he doesn't utter a single word. By the same token, you will notice that almost every man is more welcoming and accepting towards your suggestions than ever before. Now you won't have to hope or pray for him to do the right thing. He would just be naturally inspired to do it anyway, and this is only the beginning. You will find yourself completely relaxed and at ease, even during the most nerve-wracking situations around a man, because now you know you have access to a ready-made solution. When you download my course right now by clicking the Add to Cart button below, you will also discover how to make him easily answer the most difficult and emotionally charged questions by simply leaving him alone. I call this process emotionally logical communication. This is definitely very strange and odd, but works so well that it's almost hard to believe. Neediness repulses men, right? Wrong. The truth is, guys want you to need them. Let me show you the right way to be needy, which actually makes a man feel obsessively and spontaneously love-struck by you. Chasing a man makes him hate you, right? Baloney. Let me show you a weird way to chase him, which makes him want, need, and crave you more. Do you know how to tune into his control panel of love? Do you know that a man needs to feel excited, thrilled, amused, sad, and angry to feel the most intense level of love for you? Now you'll finally experience what it's like to have a man literally melt with real love for you. One very clever way to keep any man stay in that never-ending love loop. Hint, it involves making your man see you as the ultimate resource for everything he could desire, want, and need. Does he keep saying that he's not ready for a relationship yet? Let me show you how to turn this around and make him beg for commitment by being super duper impatient. How to make any man see you as his ultimate girlfriend by treating him like a brother. Sounds a little stupid right now, but it will make total sense when you hear it. I'll show you how to inject fire into an almost dead relationship by giving your man a very good emotional deal. The same man who made you feel abandoned, alone, and rejected will now beg, plead, and promise that he's always going to do the right thing and will never let you go. Revealed how being pretty actually reduces your chances with a man. This could well be the most tragic, traumatizing, and shocking revelation of your life. So now, let me ask you another pressing question. Is this the day you decide to do something about your love life? I hope it is. Follow the Add to Cart button below right now. Plus, do not put this off for even one more second because, as you've already noticed, I cut the price from $197 to only $47, just so you could jump in right now. Honestly, my plan is to sell this course for $197 because that's exactly the value this course offers. So I could raise the price at any moment now. If you decide to leave this page and come back later, it might not be available at $47. I just can't promise anything. So hit the Add to Cart button right now and download the program right now. To put this into perspective, Let me be absolutely blunt with you, and a fair warning here, this might hurt a little, so prepare yourself. I don't know how old you are, but I do know one thing. Nothing is more important in life than time. Whatever time is lost will never, ever come back. Even as you're watching this presentation, the clock is ticking. And with each passing second, your life is getting shorter and shorter. Life is just too short to experiment, only to struggle to find all of the answers by yourself. But you know the weirdest thing? Some women still play this game, but end up wasting several years of their life in hopes of winning the love of that one special man. In fact, most women will go through their entire life and never experience the love they truly deserve. Now, that right there is immensely frustrating. Honestly, I don't think that's frustrating. I feel it's traumatizing. It's traumatizing when your man suddenly decides to act hot and cold, which forces you to overanalyze things to the point of insanity. It's traumatizing when you don't know what to do, when the same man who gave you unconditional love at one point now hates you so much that he can't stand the very sight of you. It's traumatizing when a man doesn't find you as attractive as he used to, even when you've done everything in your power to appear attractive to him. It's traumatizing when you don't have any control over your love life and feel like you're on an uncontrollable roller coaster which keeps going through these crazy up and down loops. And it's even more traumatizing when deep down you feel an intense level of sickness and dread, when you realize that a very large part of your life has already been wasted. And worse, there's a strong chance that you might never get the love and fulfillment you always desire from your relationship. Look, I don't want you to have these traumatizing experiences. This is why I'm asking you not to go through it alone, and let me be your guide. Let me show you how I can make every man see you as this one and only exquisite woman who makes his heart accelerate with severe love that sends shivers up his spine. Even if he hated you so far and found you to be utterly repulsive, the moment you go through my program, you will be able to make this same man look at you with an aroused level of wonder, and you will physically see his facial expression change from his intense hate to obsessive love. This is why you need to click the Add to Cart button below and download my program right now. But do you know something strange? There is more juicy stuff in my program which I have waited to tell you. Until now. You probably don't know this, but men need you to create a certain atmosphere around them to make it easy for them to love you. In my course, I've described 3 unreasonable things you need to do. You will disagree with this when you hear it for the first time, but doing these 3 things alone will make a man feel extreme joy at the mere act of doing romantic things for you, and he will derive an extreme sense of satisfaction out of loving you the way you want to be loved. Whenever you look at him, it will feel as if his eyes are sending private messages of love to your brain. You will see love pouring from his eyes like a waterfall from a mountain. I know it sounds cheesy, but he will find something warm and enchanting about your presence, but he won't be able to describe why. So hit the Add to Cart button below and grab this course right now. Now, let's change the mood a little. In whatever little time we've had together, I have shown you 3 very important things. The first thing, you understand that you currently hold the power to inspire an intense amount of attraction in any man towards you, regardless of your age, looks, or financial condition. The second thing, you also understand that there are specific tricks you can use today to win the love of any man very easily. And finally, the third thing, you also understand and agree that in order to get what you desperately want from your man, you must know these specific tricks. So now, since you agree with all these points, don't you think it's a good idea to at least try out my program? I mean, what do you have to lose anyway? With my golden handshake promise, you get 60 full risk-free days to test drive my program, to learn and know exactly what I'm talking about here. So click on the Add to Cart button below and download the program right now. Okay, now let me tell you the best part about this program. Within this course, I've also shared some of the most powerful, surprising, and even terrifying secrets about men, which will literally turn your world upside down. Secrets like, what does it mean when he says one thing and does something else? Plus a very clever way to predict his next move, even without him uttering a single word. The real secret to how men communicate. Do you know that you can make a man say yes to most of your requests by simply shortening what you say to him? This is stupidly simple, but 99.9% of women on this planet don't know about this. The one thing a man desperately needs during sex. Just doing this one thing alone will force him to become exclusive to you and stop seeing every other woman completely. Discover how avoiding just one specific topic around a man will literally skyrocket your chances with him overnight. Most women completely neglect this area and keep on getting rejected over and over again. Is your man taking you for granted? Do you know that the fastest and easiest way to make him go insanely crazy for you again is to get angry at him? This sounds ridiculous and even unreasonable, but men actually want you to get angry at them. This will make a lot of sense once you discover it. I'll also show you how to create a very positive impact on his mind by talking about a lot of negative things. This completely goes against conventional wisdom and will shock you the first time you use it. Are you shy? I'll show you a little wild trick to use this same shyness to your ultimate advantage and make him get that I have to have her feeling in his gut. I've revealed all this and much, much more inside my course. So follow the Add to Cart button below right now to download my program. You're absolutely going to love what you're about to learn within my course, and here's the impressive bit. Your friends and family will find themselves absolutely blown away and massively surprised with the sudden change they'll see in you. In fact, a lot of women will develop this unreasonable level of envy and jealousy towards you because you will be able to do things to a man that they can't even imagine doing in even 100 years. When other women will be freaking out, feeling jolts of insecurity taking over their life, you'll be sitting there, wrapped around cozily in a blanket of confidence, because now you understand exactly how easy it is to turn any situation around with a man. In fact, you will find yourself being approached by many women to ask you for your input and advice on love matters. At this point, I'd like to emphasize something and want to give you 3 major reasons why you absolutely must grab this course right now. Reason number 1. As you've already seen, I've cut the price of this system from $197 to $47. Because I honestly don't want price to be an excuse for you, so you are already saving $150. Plus, as I've already stated, the price could go back to $197 because it truly deserves to be there. Therefore, if you leave this page now and come back later, it might or might not be available for $47. Reason number 2. Just for this one time only, I've also added the audio version of the course worth $97 and 3 special reports worth $100 absolutely free of cost, just as my way of saying thank you for investing in my program. And finally, reason number 3. You have absolutely no risk because you have my golden handshake promise and have a full 60 days to test drive the system. And in case you aren't satisfied or don't like it for any reason, you can always ask for a no questions asked, completely unconditional refund. And on top of that, you will discover one killer technique after another to make any man see you as his ultimate dream girl. Techniques like the art of pleasure arrest, how to talk to your man in a way which makes his stomach tingle with a series of short but exciting bursts of pleasure. He will find himself locked and arrested in an exclusive sense of desire for you. The art of effective fighting, a unique way to fight and argue with a man which makes him actually value his time with you and which forces him to agree with you a lot more than usual. You will now have the freedom to say absolutely anything to him without any chance of scaring him away. I'll also show you the neutralizer technique, which will calm down any intense situation that you're having with your man. Now you'll be able to turn around any extreme situation in your favor and turn an absolutely angry man into a calm, understanding, and loving man within a matter of seconds. The secret to making a man understand you on a very deep level. Do you know that by looking at the world through a male lens, you can inspire a man to work really hard to understand you? Many women have told me that this advice alone has changed their life completely. One stupidly simple sentence you can say to your man anytime and have him follow through with your request as if it was his absolute top priority. You'll be stunned at how easy this is. Scared that your man might dump you for someone else? Discover my principle of peak pleasure and how to make your man feel so good in your presence that no other woman will ever be able to match it. This is the only shortcut to cementing your image in his mind so deeply that other women will appear absolutely boring to him. A fascinating revelation about men and the bizarre judgments they unconsciously form about women. This is one thing that you absolutely need to know, or else it might cripple your love life completely. When you hear this, you will feel a sense of liberation take over your body. Discover the art of roller coaster seduction. You will discover a very clever way to turn a man on within seconds and appear extremely graceful in the process. Any man will feel a storm of passion break inside his body whenever you try this on him. And here's the weird part. The more you use this, the more respect he will give you. So take advantage of this special opportunity right now and click on the Add to Cart button below to gain access to my program and much more. Still have doubts? No worries. Let me address some common questions and concerns. Question: when will I get the Drama Method program? You'll get the entire program in just 5 minutes from now. In fact, The faster you can enter your payment details, the faster you can have access to the program. All you really have to do is click the Add to Cart button below this video, and you will be instantly taken to an order review page, and then you will see a checkout page where you can enter your payment details and have access to the program 5 minutes from now. Question: what format is the program in, and will it work on a phone? The main program is in PDF and MP3 format, which means you can instantly download it to your computer, tablet, phone, or any other device to easily access it. Question: is it safe to share my credit card information on your website? Your privacy and security is our #1 concern and priority. I guarantee you that your transaction will be 100% secure and is strictly private because we don't personally process your payment, but rather you'll be billed by ClickBank to help maintain your privacy. It's a very reputable company which has been in business for over 14 years. Now, if you're still unsure, you're welcome to Google them for more information. Also, your credit card statement won't show that you bought the Drama Method system. Rather, it will show a charge from ClickBank. Therefore, you don't have to worry about someone else finding out that you bought our system. Question: does your program cater to all kinds of women and relationships? Yes, absolutely. You could be young, middle-aged, or old. It doesn't really matter. You could be single, in a relationship, married, or going through a breakup. This program contains content which is universally applicable to all kinds and types of relationship situations. You'll get extremely detailed and practical advice on how to deal with men in every little, big to strange situation explained so clearly that you won't have to struggle with confusion, doubts, or fear any longer about your situation. You'll find yourself buzzing with a confident energy the moment you go through the first few sections of this course, because now you will finally see how easy it is to trigger hardcore attraction within any man in any situation. Question: but what if I do everything, but it still doesn't work for me? What then? Well, once again, just by grabbing my program, you will be giving yourself an astonishing advantage over every other woman out there. You will get so much unbelievable power over men that they will start to follow you around just like how a tiny puppy dog loyally follows its owner. Heck, even if you go through just half of the program and apply just 10% of what you learn, you will still get the power to make any man's heart beat furiously at the very thought of you. But there are no perfect situations in life, and there are no perfect people either. However, I can say that as long as you do what my program teaches, it will be very unlikely that it's not going to work for you. However, if you still have doubts about it, then I say please hit the Add to Cart button and just give it a try, because you are completely protected by my golden handshake promise, and you still have a full 60 days to test my program. But what if I have extra questions? No problems. In fact, that would be even better. I would love to assist you personally if you have any extra questions. You'll be provided special contact details on the download page where you can easily get answers to any questions you might have. So, to quickly sum it up, here's what you get. You get the complete Drama Method system along with the audio version of the course and 3 bonus reports. You also get my unconditional 60-day money-back guarantee, which gives you the complete freedom to try out my program for a full 60 days, which means you have absolutely zero risk. And there's still a lot more juicy stuff that I've covered in my program, so here's a little bit more on what you can expect when you download my program. Does your man currently call the shots in your relationship? Do you feel like a caged animal that is completely at his mercy? Don't worry, I'll show you how you can completely turn this situation around to get all of the power back by being emotionally lazy. You'll not hear about this technique anywhere else because I've invented it. Do you often worry about what your man might be doing when he's away from you? Use my lies vomit technique to watch your man vomit out all the lies, secrets, and other toxic details he's been keeping from you so far. Don't use this on him unless you are capable of handling extreme truth. They say that men fear being trapped, while women fear being abandoned. I'll show you a severely easy technique to turn this around and reverse the roles. So now your man will fear being abandoned, and as a result will want to stick around you for as long as possible, and will wish to grab you and never let you go. Do you often find yourself frustrated, inexplicably dissatisfied, and even a little disrespected because men don't see you as anything more than a fling? I'll show you how to completely fling-proof yourself by making the guy feel like he is the fling to you. This sounds a little weird, but it will make every man chase you in almost an obsessive way. Are you stuck in a complex situation because there's another woman in the picture and your man seems to like her a lot more than he likes you? I'll show you exactly how to make this man choose you by forcing him in the direction of that other woman. This is another twisted method that works so well that it will surprise you. Do you often feel restless and irritable because you can't control your emotions around a man and always end up creating a huge scene, arguing, or worse? you usually end up crying in front of him. I'll show you the art of powerful vulnerability. The moment you use this, your man will become almost unconditionally accepting of your behavior and will understand you on a level which seems almost too good to be true. Are there some things he does which annoy the hell out of you? I'll show you my indirect criticism technique. Now you will be able to tell him exactly what annoys you and have him consider and act on your suggestion like a devoted student. Do you know about tension triggers? I'll show you how to give any man that unique thrill of emotional arousal by sending him mixed signals. This leads to a spontaneous reaction in his brain, and he will find himself constantly pursuing you. He will chase you around like a hungry tiger that chases after a deer. Would you like your man to always do what you expect him to do? I'll show you how to make him completely surrender to your commands by showing him that you expect nothing from him. This is a new twist on reverse psychology and works so well that it seems a little crazy. And once again, I could go on and on, but this is still not even half of what I've covered in my program. Hit the Add to Cart button below, and I'll see you on the inside.